how do you start that process of going, okay, what are my values that are going to help me navigate kind of these decisions as I go through the next few years of my life?
Mm, yeah. So I personally have a process of like 8 to 10 exercises that I walk people
Mm,
through, and yeah, it's a lot about just asking good questions. So what is most important to you, and then go and sit down and really think about it, and then you jot down everything, and then I have other questions where it says like, okay, imagine your life 10 years from now, right? And you're in the most beautiful and aligned space, and everything unfolded the way you want it to be. Like, describe that and paint that out, and so you get a clearer picture. And then again, from another angle, right, you might have, I have a list of like 100 to 200 words. Like, circle those that feel most resonant, because a value, that's also the key part, is nothing else but a word, right? So what the value means then is based on the other exercises of, okay, we got these words, but what do they actually mean to you? Like, for example, what does freedom mean? It means different things for
mm,
different people. So if you value freedom, it's also again about making it more tangible. Like, what does it actually mean? Freedom, and write that out, write the definitions out. And what does it not mean? So in my process, for example, I figured that many words that I value, that I thought I valued, they kind of like mean the same thing for me, like love and peace and freedom, and it's all the same thing for me. So I could like nail it down to one word that I could say like, okay, this I feel most resonant with, and this I feel most satisfied with, and this is what it means for me. And then it's also about discernment, right? Because values are a tricky thing, because based on our growing up in a culture that's a bit insane, we might value things that have been put out from the outside, right? And it's about discerning which values are true to you and which values come from your conditioning or your surroundings, right? So it's okay, like, what does money really mean for you? Like, why do you want to be famous? Like, why do you want to be, why does validation matter to you? And so it's about looking at what I call negative values, not to judge them, but to look at, like, do these values, are these actually true to you? Right? And what are your core values that are really coming from the core of you, and that are not being put onto you from the outside, not even from a spiritual teacher or from your psychedelic shaman. That's also a conditioning or an environment that can present certain values as important, right? As everybody talks about, truth is important, or it's just like spirituality is important, and you look, and it's like, now you took that on as a hat, but like, do you know what that means for you? Like, or do you just tell yourself you're valuing it? So it's about discerning what values are true to you and which values you've picked up upon, and you just think you're important to you. Yeah, and then I walk them through a process of scoring the values and your integrity to these values. Like, again, just to have an assessment of, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how much do you live in alignment with that value? And then you say, okay, it's about a 5 or 6 out of 10. And then it's like, okay, great. So what are the 4 other points, right? So, and let's explore that. And that's how we make it tangible. And we have concrete action steps of like, okay, these are the things that move me forward in regards to figuring out my values. And as you said, it's a beautiful decision-making mechanism. So when we're bombarded with all these opportunities that come up nowadays, and with all these insights from psychedelics, we just pick all of these, and we say, like, are they aligned with my top values? That's also a challenging process for many, is to pick the top 5 to 10, because then you have a list of like 30, and you like them all, right? But ranking them in order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like, that's where the juice is, because that's where you got to wrestle with yourself of like, okay, is freedom more important to me, or is family more important to me? Ooh, that's the work, right? And then based on if you choose freedom to be more important than family, what implications does that have on your decision-making process? On how is that reflected in your behavior in your daily life?
The trade-off. Yeah, that's big. And it's funny, as soon as you said that family or freedom, I know I felt that, and I bet other people listening are probably going to feel that one right there where you're like, oh yeah, if it's a trade-off, right? If I make the decision on here, then I didn't make the decision here, and we have to be okay with that. Out of all of this, it's really just a relationship with yourself more than anything else. No one's sitting there going, "Oh, Ari, you didn't show up for yourself in this way."